Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. Few topics ignite passion and debate quite like their quarterback situation. It's almost become a bit of a saga, a roller coaster ride that fans have been on for nearly 3 decades. Since returning to the NFL in 1999, Cleveland has faced an ongoing struggle to find stability at the most critical position on the field. Despite the franchise's rich history and moments of promise, the quarterback position has often been a source of frustration. Now, as we look ahead to an evolving NFL landscape, there's a lot of talk about whether the Browns are finally heading toward a breakthrough or if old patterns are about to repeat themselves. To understand where the Browns are today, we need to step back a little and look at their recent history. The team has often flirted with potential, swinging for the fences in free agency, trading picks, or drafting high-profile quarterbacks with hopes of striking gold. But more often than not, things haven't panned out. Remember when they brought in Deshaun Watson? That was supposed to be their franchise-changing move. And honestly, on paper, it looked like a masterstroke. Watson, coming off an MVP-caliber season, was the kind of player who could elevate any offense. But of course, as we all know now, the entire situation turned into a nightmare, with legal issues, suspensions, and questions about how to rebuild trust and chemistry. Before we dive deeper into the current state of the Browns' quarterback room, it's worth mentioning the broader context of Cleveland's quest for stability at the position. Over the years, they've cycled through a list of quarterbacks, some promising, some not quite living up to expectations. Baker Mayfield, for example, was drafted first overall in 2018 and showed flashes of brilliance, but consistency eluded him. Mayfield's journey with the Browns was a roller coaster, moments of greatness, like leading the team to the playoffs in 2020, but also periods of inconsistency and struggles with turnovers. Still, he was a player who represented hope for many Browns fans, a symbol that, finally, they might have found their guy. But the Browns' quarterback puzzle isn't just about Mayfield anymore. Since the trade for Watson, the team has been caught in a whirlwind of questions, uncertainties, and roster shuffling. When Cleveland acquired Watson from Houston, it was seen as a franchise-defining move, a gamble that the front office believed would catapult them into serious Super Bowl contention. At the time, the trade was lauded by many analysts, given Watson's talent and potential. Yet, the legal turmoil and suspension that followed cast a long shadow over the entire operation, leaving fans and experts questioning whether the Browns had overextended themselves. Now, talking about this situation, you might have heard voices from the media and fans alike questioning the coaching staff, especially Kevin Stefanski. Some critics have pointed fingers at him for not developing quarterbacks effectively, citing the team's inconsistent offensive performance and the inability to establish a clear starting quarterback. Garrett Bush, a well-known Cleveland sports analyst, recently went on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and didn't hold back. He said, "Kevin Stefanski ain't developed nobody. Let's get this on paper. I don't know if I trust your evaluation with quarterbacks." That's a pretty strong statement, especially considering the Browns' recent draft history and the fact that they've drafted quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th rounds in recent years. Bush's critique got a lot of attention because it touches on a broader debate. Is Stefanski the right guy to lead this team to a Super Bowl, or is he being held back by the limitations of the roster and the quarterback situation? He also pointed out that Baker Mayfield, despite all the struggles, was playing arguably the best football of his career outside of Stefanski's system. And that's a crucial point because it shows that maybe, just maybe, the problems aren't solely on the coaching staff. Let's not forget, though, that Stefanski has had some success as well. He helped Kirk Cousins have one of the best years of his career when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, and he did manage to get the Browns into the playoffs in 2020, which, considering the franchise's history, is no small feat. And then there's Deshaun Watson, a player with superstar potential, who was considered one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league before all the legal issues and suspension. The Browns traded for him in a blockbuster deal, giving up a lot of draft capital and future assets. At the time, most NFL teams would have jumped at the chance to acquire Watson, given his talent and the fact that he was coming off an MVP-caliber season. But as we all know now, the trade didn't turn out as planned. The legal issues and suspension have cast a long shadow, and the team has been left navigating a murky quarterback situation that's far from ideal. It's created a lot of frustration among fans, especially because the team invested so heavily in Watson, both financially and in terms of draft capital. And it's not just about Watson himself, but what his presence has done to the entire offensive dynamic. The Browns' offense has struggled to find rhythm, and that's partly due to the uncertainty at quarterback. Who's going to start? How will they perform? Can they carry the team when needed? The coaching staff has tried to manage this by giving opportunities to other players, but no clear-cut starter has emerged. They've tried out veterans, young quarterbacks, and even players who are more project than proven commodity. The result has been inconsistent play, turnovers, and a lack of offensive cohesion. This ongoing instability has understandably led fans to question whether the front office and coaching staff are making the right moves or if they're simply spinning their wheels. Now, some might argue that the Browns are still in a rebuilding phase, that patience is necessary, and that they need to trust Stefanski to develop their young quarterbacks. After all, he helped Kirk Cousins reach new heights and managed to get Baker Mayfield into the playoffs. But others believe that the window for championship contention is closing, and the team needs to make a bold move, whether that's through the draft, free agency, or a trade, if they want to seriously challenge in the AFC North and beyond. This division, as we well know, has become incredibly competitive. The Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers have all made significant improvements, and the Browns need to keep pace if they want to reclaim their spot at the top. The AFC North has historically been a tough, gritty division, and it's only gotten tougher recently. The Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, have emerged as a powerhouse with a high-powered offense, while the Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, continue to be a tough matchup for anyone. The Steelers, under Mike Tomlin, are always dangerous, especially when their defense is clicking. So what's next for Cleveland? Well, there are a lot of questions on the table. Will they stick with the current quarterback room and hope for improvement, or will they make a bold move in the offseason? Could they draft a quarterback high in the upcoming draft, or perhaps swing a trade for a veteran? The front office has a lot of tough decisions ahead because they need to find stability, consistency, and most importantly, a signal caller who can lead them to the promised land. Looking at the bigger picture, the Browns' history of quarterback struggles isn't just a recent phenomenon. It's been a recurring theme that has haunted the franchise for decades. From Bernie Kosar to Tim Couch, from Brady Quinn to Johnny Manziel, and later to Mayfield and now Watson, the team has been searching for that franchise quarterback who can bring long-term success. And while they've had some bright moments, the perennial inconsistency has kept them from truly competing at the highest level. This season, there's a cautious optimism among fans, but also a lingering sense of frustration. They see the talent on the roster, the potential that's there, but also the gaps, especially at the most critical position. The coaching staff, led by Stefanski, is under pressure to deliver results, especially now that the AFC North has become even more competitive. It's a crucial time for Cleveland, and every game, every decision, every play counts. And let's not forget the fans' passion. They are some of the most dedicated in the league. Browns fans are known for their resilience, their loyalty, and their unwavering hope that one day, their team will break through and finally bring home that elusive Super Bowl trophy. That's what keeps the spirit alive, even in tough times. The history of this franchise is filled with ups and downs, but the hope for a bright future never dies. Every draft, every free agent signing, every game is a new chapter in this ongoing story of perseverance. So as we look ahead to what's coming next for Cleveland, the big question remains, will they find their quarterback solution? And if they do, how quickly can they turn things around? Because, make no mistake, the talent is there on defense, on the offensive line, and in their skill position players. But it all hinges on that one position, that one player who can command respect, lead the team, and execute under pressure. In the end, the Browns are at a crossroads. They have the pieces, they have the talent, but now they need to put everything together around that one critical piece, It's about finding stability and consistency at quarterback. The offseason will be telling, and fans are eager to see what moves the front office makes. Will they go all in again, or will they take a more cautious approach? Whatever the case, one thing is clear. The journey to a Super Bowl for Cleveland has never been more intriguing, more complex, or more uncertain. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.